Ashraf, you also talk about the process of emerging. What do you mean by that? Isn't it good enough just to know?
So yes, as you can see that there's a lot of awareness that is required, and once a person is clear about these concepts and where we've come from, unconsciousness and subconsciousness, that we become more and more conscious, aware, and we can support going beyond who we've been. We can go beyond how we've lived and what we've experienced. So that is an option that's available to us. And this is what emergence is all about. So for me, emergence is where you go beyond the fallen self. You go beyond that aspect of you that is lost in neediness, trying to feel okay, lost in neediness, trying to avoid feeling bad, thinking one day you'll feel good if you avoid feeling bad, and then going beyond the neediness of blaming people, that if people change, then you won't feel bad, and if people give you what you need, you'll avoid a problem. Somebody needs to help you, and if nobody helps you, you're in trouble, and if nobody changes, you're in trouble. So you can live in that hellish world of unconsciousness, subconsciously functioning. Or you can start becoming more and more conscious, becoming more and more aware of what we're talking about here, 4D, 5D, and you can begin to commit to a process of emergence, going beyond the beggar, needy, through releasing those trances, becoming more and more fifth-dimensionally focused, more and more aware, more and more experiencing beyond time and space, beyond the created world, becoming aware of, knowing about and experiencing the Creator and the Creator's relating to you. We'll talk more about this as we go through in subsequent seminars, but suffices to say at this particular point that this is really, what it's about. It's about becoming aware that there is the one because of whom you are and whose care you're always in, developing your faith consciousness, developing your believer consciousness, and this is emerging into being more and more secure, experiencing it. So this is not an idea that somebody says, well, I think I understand, because remember we just said now, before this in the previous question, as I answered it, that this is beyond the mind. The awareness that we're having is coming from the being, the multidimensional being. Your mind is not in any way aware of what we're talking about. If you try to understand what I'm saying to you, you won't. It's through your awareness, by seeing from a higher level of being, 5D, you see what I'm saying to you. So it's not just about understanding. It's about awareness that leads to a knowing, that leads to an experiencing. And that's what emergence is, the process of becoming aware, more and more conscious, knowing the truth, not believing in the truth, not understanding the truth, knowing that I am indeed okay. I am an adult. I have creative ability. There are alternate realities for me to claim, to be aware of it, to know of its truth, and to live it, experiencing it, living and experiencing being creative, and watching it happen in your life. Really enjoying it happen. So this is a process of spiritual emergence, you see. If you don't have spiritual emergence, you'll have spiritual emergencies, problems and drama. This is a process of personal emergence. Emerging as a person, emerging as an adult. If not, you're going to have personal emergencies where you're going to be like a child and feeling unhappy, and people are going to, give you intervention and try to change you and control you or give up on you as an addict. And this is about going beyond being that victim that says, because of somebody I suffer, or because somebody didn't help me, I suffered. I need somebody to help me and they're not helping me, I suffer. It's about going beyond the beggar, the addict and the victim to the believer. I am secure. I am aware of truth. I don't need, beyond the mind's belief in need. I'm aware of the one that is beyond, in whose care I am in. I know God. I'm having the experience of security, going from the beggar to the believer, and going from the addict, like I don't want to feel bad. If I don't feel bad, I will feel good. Going beyond that, actually experiencing ease, that I am supported and I can experience ease, that there is love and I am loved, and experiencing that joy of being loved and supported, and the enjoyment that there's nothing for me to do. I don't need anything. I'm in the care of God. God is guarding. Everything is here. There's no stress and strain. There's for me to experience and appreciate and enjoy and value. And that's where we become the adult who's valuing and participating, valuing themselves, valuing their bodies, valuing their lives and their afterlife experiences, and supporting, easing up, being on the bed, and all these processes that we've spoken about and speak about throughout the seminars that we learn, the variety of different applications, practices and techniques. The adult starts using them to free themselves from the child's control and being held back by identification. And so we have greater faith through the practices, greater freedom is experienced. And the more faith we experience being secure, the more free we feel, being selfful, that we love to enjoy caring for ourselves, our bodies, our lives, really enjoying the opportunity to participate in ourselves, with ourselves, our bodies and our lives and afterlives. And we take on that responsibility, that adult responsibility happily, and we happily wield that adult power. And then that leads to creative empowerment, which is really our being able to say, right, what can I experience? A higher quality of being and becoming, a higher quality of living and experiencing, more joy than this, more enjoyable experiences than this. What is a more enjoyable experience than this? Can I feel into that quality of feeling that is higher than what I'm feeling now? So this is the emergence. See, this is the emergence from feeling contracted, shrunken, reactive, lost in time and space, 4D ego-based living, to actually dropping all that, going beyond that and emerging into what you've always been. I've said to you in the workshops, in the seminars, and that you already are creative. You're just unaware of that. You are already secure. You're just unaware of that. You are already okay. You are unaware of that. There is natural good feeling that you can experience now. You're just unaware of that. So as we emerge going beyond a beggar to a believer, beyond an addict to an adult, going beyond a victim to a vicegerent. We go beyond being a child into a powerful, empowered adult. We go beyond being a child of this world, like a street child, to being a child of God, metaphorically speaking. Of course, God is an energy beyond form and cannot have children, or was not born, or will not die. So when we speak of that, we speak of it in a metaphorical sense, that we are experiencing ourselves as cared for, because God is the one that has created us, has caused us to be the all-caring, the all-considerate, the all-compassionate, the all-championing, the all-caretaking, handling things for us, and is the all cherishing, the one who's contributing into our life. So we start being able to recognize the universal support or infinite intelligence, source energy, whatever you want to call that which is popularly called God, the real, true God, the uncreated. We start having an awareness and experience of security with God, and that's emergence. You are going beyond the fallen, shrunken state, and you are emerging into what you've always been, but not trapped by the mind, the knowledge of good and evil, and so on and so forth. So, thank you so much for that question. Really enjoying answering your questions and the flow that these questions are moving us forward through this process. So, thank you so much for that.